Okay, so volume is base area times the height when you are talking about prisms. So if you know the area of the base, multiply it by the height, that gives you the volume of the entire three-dimensional figure. So again, it doesn't matter for rectangular prism which one you pick as your base, all right? So we're going to say that this is my base. So the area of my base, and honestly for a rectangular prism, it's really just base times, length times width times height, okay? But when we're talking about any prism, it's the area of the base times height. That's just kind of why we leave it that way. So this is just going to be 9 times 17 times 24. And that's 3,672 centimeters cube or cubic centimeters. So rectangular prisms, pretty easy, straightforward. Just length times width times height. But again, the base area times the height follows for all your other prisms. So you've got to know what your base is. So on this one, the base is going to be this triangle. So remember, for a prism, your sides are all rectangles. So if it's not a rectangular prism, you're looking for the non-rectangular shape to figure out what your base is. How do I find area of a triangle?
Oh, 1/2.
1/2 base times height. What is my height here?
7.3.
And what is my base?
We have to find it. 12.
It is 12. So it's right here.
Oh, yes.
So that one was given. So this is going to be 1/2 base times height for the area of the base. So that's 43.8. And then which one of those is my height?
Is it 5?
The 5 is my height.
Because that's the distance between the...
So yeah, going from base to base, that's your height. So 43.8 times 5, and that gives me 219 feet cubed. Pretty straightforward?
Sure.
Okay, so again, you just figure out what the base is, find that area, and then multiply by the height. If you look at number 8, I'm giving you the area of the base, so you're just going to multiply that area times 5.2. So again, I'm not going to ask you to calculate anything other than a rectangle, triangle, or trapezoid. Other than that, I will do like I did on number 8. I will give you the base area, and then you'll just multiply to find height. Okay? So that's going to be 582.4 centimeters squared. Yes, thank you. Sorry, cubed. Okay, cylinder is going to actually be the exact same thing as a prism. You find the area of the base and then multiply by the height. So that's basically going to be, because the area of the base is a circle, that's pi r squared times h. So the area of the base, which is your circle, times the height. So on number 12, what is my radius?
18. All right.
What?
On number 12,
Oh.
5.5.
5.5. So the area of my circle, I don't know why I put a 1/2 there, sorry, is pi times r squared and then multiply by the height. And then you'll just plug that whole thing in the calculator. All right, number 14. Remember, height is perpendicular height to the base. So if I give you the slant height, that's not your height. You have to go find it. So on this one, this is going to be pi times r squared times 11. So 1,693.32 feet cubed.
Wait, you said the same.
All right, look at 15. So this is what is the outside shape?
Triangle.
triangular prism. And what did I do? I basically put a hole through it that's in the shape of a cylinder. So I'm going to do the volume of the prism minus the volume of the cylinder. So this is similar when we were doing two-dimensional shaded figures. You're finding the area of the shaded region. This is somewhat similar to that. It's just using volume instead. Okay, so the area of the prism, we have our base is 5 and our height is 5. So 1/2 base times height times, 1/2 length times width and then times height. And now, how are we going to find, oh, it told me the cylinder has a 2 centimeter diameter, which means my radius is, yep.
I was confused because I was like, where did you get 1 from?
In the problem, it said the cylinder has a 2 centimeter diameter. So my radius is 1. And then minus pi times r squared times h. And then you just plug that whole thing in the calculator all at once. You don't have to actually find each individual piece. And so this is 131.02 centimeters cubed. Okay, so volume of a pyramid or cone in relation to a prism with the same shape and dimensions of the base, and then a cone with the same dimensions as a cylinder. So any guesses? How much do you think it would be? So if I had a square prism, had the exact same base, same height.
Yeah.
Well, we know that the pyramid is going to have less of a volume, right?
Because it's half. Like a third.
Do you remember that? Because that's a good guess.
Oh, 1/3 of.
Okay, it is 1/3 of the volume. Oops.
Ashley?
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm so smart. Good job, Ashley. Y'all talk about this last class?
Mm-mm.
No, well, like, I think we've never.
All right, so number one, so all I'm going to do is I am going to basically put a 1/3 in front of the formula for a prism. Okay? So it's 1/3 times area of the base, which this is a rectangle, so length times width, times the height. And again, height is perpendicular to the base. Okay, so you're going to get 586.67 inches cubed. So you see where it has the little symbol drawn that shows that that's a perpendicular. Okay, so on number 3, that gave me the slant height. I do not have this, so I have to find it. So, I'm going to use Pythagorean theorem. We know that the hypotenuse is 25. What is the bottom? 7, because it's going to be half the base. So for the pyramid, we're going to be doing regular pyramids and regular cones where the height drops vertically from the vertex, the point, and goes straight to the center. So we're not doing anything that's a weird shape because they do exist. So this is going to be 7, so I'm looking for x. So 7 squared plus x squared equals 25 squared. And I'm going to get that the height is 24. So now I'm going to plug that into the formula. 1/3 area of the base, which is 14 times 14, times the height, which is 24. And you get 1,568 feet cubed. Any questions on pyramids? I mean, it's not going to be any harder than that. The hardest thing you have to do is maybe find the height using Pythagorean theorem because I give you the slant instead. Okay? The difference in 4 through 6 is that they're triangles as their bases. So you just use a different formula for area. But other than that, same thing. Okay, similar to a pyramid, a cone is 1/3 of the volume of a cylinder. So this is 1/3 pi r squared times h. So if I look at number 8, what's my radius?
9.
Number 8.
2.5.
My radius is 2.5. My height is 8. So it's going to be 1/3 pi 2.5 squared times 8. So 52.36 inches cubed. All right, so number 9.
We're going to divide the height.
Got to find the height. So my triangle is 22.5 as my hypotenuse, 13.5 as my base. So I have x squared plus 13.5 squared
It's okay.
equals 22.5 squared.
You got it.
We solve for x and get x equals 18. And again, that's your height. So 1/3 pi times r, which is 13.5 squared, times the height, which is 18. 3,435.33 kilometers cubed. For all of these, go ahead and round 2 decimal places when you're doing them, okay? All right, difference on these is it's just words that you have to then know visually what that means, okay? Look at number 12. That one's a little bit harder. The cylinder to the left contains 2 congruent hollow cones. So think of 2 ice cream cones, tip to tip, so the points together, and then you enclose it. Okay, so that's what the shape looks like. The cylinder's height is 20 inches, and its diameter is 14, so the radius is 7. Find the volume of the solid. So I'm going to do the cylinder minus what?
2 cones.
2 cones. Very good. So cylinder minus 2 times the volume of 1 cone, because there's 2 cones and they're the same shape. So my cylinder is pi times r squared times height minus 2 times the cone, which is 1/3 pi, oops, I forgot the pi, pi r squared times height. So then we plug that in.
The height would be 10, right?
Sorry, thank you. Yes, the height for the cone is 10. Good job. Thank you. So the total volume is 2,052.5 inches cubed. Okay, parts of a sphere. We have the diameter. We have the center. We have the radius. And then the circumference is called the great circle. So your equator of Earth is called a great circle. Okay? So this is the great circle. So if they're asking for great circle, they're asking for circumference. Just know it's the same formula. Okay? So volume of a sphere is 4/3 pi r cubed. surface area of a sphere is 4 pi r squared. And then obviously, if I was finding it for a hemisphere, a half sphere, it would just be divided by 2 or times 1/2, okay? So, find the volume of the sphere. So, looking at number 1, 4/3 pi times 7 cubed. That's it. You just plug it in the calculator. 1436.76. Because it's volume. So the one for volume is cubed, the one for surface area is squared. And then let's go do number 4. What is my radius? Radius is 12. So the volume, surface area is 4 pi r squared.
Will you tell us specifically?
So again, a hemisphere is half of a sphere. So you would do 1/2 times these formulas, which if you want them, you can use them, or you can just know that it's the above formulas times 1/2.
Or divided by 2.
Divided by 2, same thing, yeah. So again, it doesn't matter how you do it. You can find the full area, then divide by 2, or you can use this formula. It's going to give you the same answer in the end. All right, so number 6, what's my radius?
5. Oh, 6.
Oh my gosh, that's oh my gosh.
Radius is 9.
Wow.
So my volume is 2/3 9 or pi times 9 cubed. Or again, 1/2 times 4/3 pi r cubed. Doesn't matter. That's the formula for a full sphere. So you would do 1/2 times that, this is a simplified form. It's the same equation.
2/3 because 2's half.
2/3 is half of 4/3. Yes.
And then 2 pi.
So for me, because I don't have a formula sheet when I do these, I have these memorized and always have. I just know that a hemisphere is half of the form. I don't actually find a new formula for it. I just find the volume of a sphere and times it by 1/2.
That's probably what I'll do.
Right.
Why is it squared, not cubed?
Cubed, thank you. And then surface area, again, 1/2 of the surface area is full, so it's 2 times pi r squared. So my radius is on number 8,
6.1.
6.1.
Oh my gosh, that's
So my surface area is 2 pi r squared. And then the last couple problems, I'm not going to go over them, but 11 and 12, it's composite figures, so it's basically finding 2 volumes and adding them together. Okay? So,
Right.